is back. Fans are here at NRG Stadium. Welcome to Week 1 of the 2021 regular season. You are looking live at the Houston Texans as they prepare for their season opener against the Jacksonville Jaguars. David Culley and Urban Meyer will go head-to-head in their NFL head coaching debuts. The Texans defense hopes to build on what they started in the preseason with 10 takeaways and getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Today, they face the #1 overall pick in quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Tyrod Taylor will get the services of veteran Danny Amendola signed this week, along with Brandon Cooks and former Jags receiver Chris Conley. And the run game, what will it look like as the Texans have 4 running backs heading into today's game? We're answering all of your questions. Texans Unlimited, presented by Verizon, starts now.
We are ready to rock in Houston.
Touchdown, Houston!
Are you kidding? What a catch. Oh, baby.
Welcome into Texans Unlimited, presented by Verizon. It is great to be back here at Week 1 at home. I've got my good friend Drew Doherty. I love opening up the season at home, Drew. I don't know, there's something very special about it. And there's fans back in the stadium. I mean, this feels as normal as a Week 1 could be, but 2 very, very different teams as the Texans prepare to face the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No doubt, it's the first home opener for a regular season home opener since, 2017. Jaguars were in town then, so it's a different cast of characters on each side of the ball. Yeah, we're through with the preseason, thank goodness. We're through with the longest offseason of all time, thank goodness for that. And it's time to play some football. We'll see what these guys got. Tyrod Taylor, I talked with him earlier in the week. He's pumped up. You're going to hear from him a little bit later in the show, and I know you're excited as well. I'm
excited, and we've got a lot of moving parts with inactives. Those are out. We're going to get to those in a little bit. But first, let's get to your quick hits of the week. Like Drew mentioned, Tyrod Taylor, starting quarterback for the Houston Texans. He has started 47 games in his career. Today will be number 48, but there's always something a little extra special when it's Week 1. Here's what Tyrod had to say.
Yeah, it's exciting. Actually, I started last year, first game versus Cincy. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, to get back into the swing of things, get the preseason out of the way, get back into a regular routine. It's fun, and just to see the energy around the locker room, guys are excited. It's our first time being able to play in a regular season game with each other, going out and making plays as a group. And that's in all phases, all 3 phases, and I'm just looking forward to it. Of course, you don't want to get the emotions up too high early in the week. There's still work to be done, but on Sunday we'll be ready to roll, and I'm just speaking for myself and speaking for the team.
The Texans defense will get its first look at quarterback Trevor Lawrence today, but defensive coordinator Lovie Smith says he's been watching the quarterback for a very long time.
Well, coming from the college game, I feel like I know a little bit about him. I know he's been a good quarterback. Matter of fact, I even remember going to his high school way back in the day, watching him work out, an off-season workout early in the morning. Pretty impressive. But, everything that should have been said about him has been said. He's got all the physical ability in the world. He's been a good quarterback for a long period of time. Make all the throws. Didn't know much about losing a game. And for us, though, it doesn't matter whether it's really Trevor Lawrence or whoever the quarterback might be. It's always about what we do. And there's a way that we like to play defense. And part of being able to play good defense is to be able to control the quarterback as much as possible. In order for you to be a good quarterback, though, you have to have good skill around you. He has excellent wide receivers around him with size, speed, good running backs. We understand, an offensive line has played a lot of football. Any offensive line coached by George Warhop is going to be pretty good. So big challenge for us. I mean, we're just excited about, getting the season started.
And Kaimi Fairbairn will not be kicking for the Texans today. He was ruled out earlier this week. He suffered an injury in pregame warmups ahead of that 3rd preseason game. The Texans signed kicker Joey Sly to the practice squad. He was elevated to the active roster. He kicked for the Panthers for the past 2 years. But Justin Reed, who handled kickoffs in that 3rd preseason game, says if needed, he's ready to go.
Yeah, Joey's a tremendous kicker, first and foremost. But with that being said, I've been asking to do this for 4 years, bro. I'm extremely confident in what I know how to and what I can't do. So if that, gives their special teams coach a little more things to think about while he's trying to go to sleep at night, then I'm happy to add that to his plate to think about.
I think Justin was joking a little bit. Hopefully we don't see him out there. And Joey Sly has a great day kicking. But, Drew, I know there's a lot of inactives, a lot of surprises on the actives and actives list today, right?
Yeah, and with regards to what you just mentioned, she talked about it earlier. Kaimi Fairbairn is on the injured reserve. So Joey Sly has been pulled up to the active roster. There's no inactives right there with that situation there. So some of the guys you're not going to see today, Lonnie Johnson, we found that out Friday. He won't go. Neither will Anthony Miller, who had practiced all week, and the team signed Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola is active, and they thought enough of Danny Amendola that he's going to be the guy going, and they're going to give Miller probably a little bit more time to get healthy. You also have Brevin Jordan, one of your tight ends that was drafted this year, not going to go today. Neither will Scotty Phillips, the second-year running back who was outstanding in the preseason. He's had a lot of good games in August, so you won't see Scotty. It's going to be the 4 veterans on the running back or at the running back spot. No Jonathan Grenard, unfortunately. He got injured early in camp, and he's still working through it, but he did practice, so he's another guy with a little bit more time. Kevin Pierre-Louis was an important guy in the linebacking core. He's not going to play today. Neither will the new corner, Jimmy Moreland, and, of course, Deshaun Watson will not suit up for the Texans.
Yeah, Jonathan Grenard and KPL, Kevin Pierre-Louis, they were listed as questionable. I think Anthony Miller is the storyline that we've sort of been watching throughout the week. Yeah. He was a full participant in practice, so maybe he's a healthy scratch. Maybe he needs a little extra time, but maybe they just really liked what they saw out of Danny Amendola. We'll get to see here today. He just arrived a few days ago, but it seems like he picked up the offense pretty quickly. Right,
and people can quibble about, well, should you have paid that money for a veteran receiver and all that? Listen, that's a story or an argument for a different time. If you just look at what he's done the last 4 years, if you look at what he did last year in Detroit, 13.1 yards a catch, he had 600-plus yards receiving. He's had 575 yards or more receiving in his season for each of the last 4 years. He's very, very smart. He knows this offense. He said it's very similar to what he played in New England, and he's a guy that gets open, he's tough, and he gets you yardage. So this could be a very solid signing for the Texans, and he's back home. It's a nice little return for the Woodlands native. That's right.
Now, he'll be wearing number 89, so be sure to look for him out there. And, we've got questions from our fans.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of
those. Love doing that.
Let's get in. People are watching from all over the place, so let's get into where everyone's watching from. I know you like to
We got Frederick in France. What's up, Frederick? Hope you're having a great morning over there, and we always love hearing from you. Eric is in Katy, so near and far, and we love our foreign and our domestic fans. Tammy wants to know what channel is the game on. This is a CBS game, so it's a noon kickoff, so watch your local CBS affiliate. If you're in this area, you can also watch it on HoustonTexans.com and the Texans mobile app. Hans wants to know, has our offense improved since training camp? Well, we'll see. The Texans had a lot of things that they said they wanted to work on, DP. Namely, in that last game, they didn't like the way they turned the ball over. So they got to be clean with the ball there. And they want to make sure they can run the ball because other than Scotty Phillips, it was kind of tough sledding as far as getting significant yards. Now, Mark Ingram did a good job in some of those games, but on the whole, they weren't pleased with what they did on the ground.
Yeah, I think they were doing better running the ball, but also their offensive line wasn't all completely there. Laramie Tunsil was not there for the preseason games. He was dealing with COVID. He's back today, which is a great sign. And then you've got your offensive line. I don't think we've even talked about enough the fact that Charlie Heck, he's not on that inactives list. So what does that mean for him today? He's playing, he's not playing. You've got Marcus Cannon out there.
He was ruled out of the game earlier in the week by David Culley. So, not going to go, but I think it's probably Marcus Cannon. I think that's probably a safe bet to say. So we'll see. And we've got other questions. Adam wants to know who will be the sleepers of the game, and I think Malik Collins is one for me. Maybe he's not a sleeper. Maybe people are expecting big things because we've talked a lot about him, but they want to set him up and get him in one-on-one situations with guards and let him just be a real pain in the you-know-what for opposing offensive lines, which is what he was for the Texans O-line in camp and then in the games for these opposing preseason games for opposing teams.
I mean, I'm going to go Pharaoh Brown. I could go either Pharaoh Brown or Jordan Akins. I just think we've not seen enough of the tight ends in the preseason, and I always felt like they were holding back a little bit because they didn't want to fire all their guns at once. But it seemed like in preseason, in training camp, Tyrod Taylor was really connecting well with the tight ends, and I think in the red zone, if they get in the red zone, I think that Farrell Brown is so hard to bring down. So is Jordan Aiken. So I could go with either. I'm going to just pick Farrell Brown because we heard from him Friday. He seems all fired up and ready to go. He's got a lot to prove, and the way he showed up here last year, mid-season,
awesome.
He's done a lot of great things, and there's been so much roster turnover, but he is still here. So
there were two different plays last season in separate games where he caught a pass, got a good chunk of yardage, and in the process of doing so, it took at least 10 guys to bring him down. And that's a really fun thing to see because it charges the offense up. It charges the home crowd up when you do that. So let's see if we can do a little bit more of that and take one into the house.
All right, Nick wants to know, what do you expect from Andre Roberts? We expect big things, Nick. We didn't see too much of him in the preseason. He was dealing with an injury. He's been back at practice. He's active, but also Desmond King. I mean, he was really impressive in those punt returns. So the Texans have a couple of different options as far as the return game goes, but that's really why they signed Andre Roberts. I mean, they signed him to return kicks, and when he's out there, he is really fast. He doesn't look like I don't know what fountain of youth he is drinking from. He looks really good. I hope he's back full strength and he's able to return all the kicks today.
Yeah, this special teams unit is something that is going to help win the Texans games if it plays the way we think it can, because once you get Kaimi Fairbairn back or Joey Sly, as long as he does what he needs to do, their coverage should be really good. It should be improved. That's one of the reasons Cam Johnston, the punter, decided to come to Houston, money aside, but he really liked the attractiveness of guys out on the edges, the gunners that can go down and cover punts. And then at the return spot, Roberts, like you said, 3 straight Pro Bowls. He's trying to go to his 4th straight this year. We haven't seen anything from him in any preseason games. What we did see was Desmond King, the cornerback, peel off a couple of 30-plus yard returns. You also have Danny Amendola, who's been back there and done it forever. I don't know that they're going to call him, but they might. And he's good for about 9 yards a punt return. He's done it a lot in his career. So they have many, many options across the board on this team to return kickoffs and punts.
All right, I think John has a question about the quarterbacks. He says, what do you think of the Trevor Lawrence-Tyrod Taylor matchup? Obviously, they're not matching up at the exact same time, but it's funny because one is an 11-year veteran, the other one in his first NFL start, the number 1 overall pick. I think, Drew, you got to go experience in week 1. We don't really know what to expect from this Jaguars team, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I've heard from everything I've heard about Trevor Lawrence, he is as good as advertised. So I think that there's a lot of expectation on him. I think the Texans defense is going to have a lot of fun if they can continue what they started in the preseason. But as far as Tyrod Taylor, he's calm, cool, collected. He's started a lot of games in his career, but I think that with his receivers in the run game, he's going to depend on the ground game a lot today.
Yeah, he wants to do that. This Texans offense
wants to run the ball more.
Yeah, run the ball and run it effectively. And as for Trevor Lawrence, this guy looks the part. I mean, it looks like the Texans are going to have to deal with him for a long, long time at a very, very high level. Hopefully that starts later than today, but yeah, he's very impressive, and he looks like he's the real deal. And hey, we got people like Haley in Richmond, Logan in Indiana, Blasa in Galveston, Alfred in Denver Harbor. What's up, Alfred? Tommy in Southwest Houston, Khalees in Conroe, Charlie in Thailand, and Roberval in Brazil. Quiere jogar futebol americano? There you go.
Are you speaking Portuguese?
I think I might have butchered the last part, but yeah, a little bit.
I know you speak really great Spanish. I didn't know you spoke Portuguese as well. Well, you know what? You were talking about Tyrod Taylor a little bit earlier. You had a chance to catch up with him because even though he started a lot of games, he's never started one for the Texans. This will be his first start. You talked to him a little bit about that and what to expect for today's game.
It is quarterback Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod, good to be with you. The game is upon us. We've been saying it for a while now. You take these steps. You've got OTAs, and you've got training camp, and you've got the preseason. But now the regular season is here. How ready do you feel? How ready do you think this offense is?
I feel ready physically, mentally. Excited to see the guys go out and compete at a high level.
No doubt. Now, you're always a calm guy, it seems. Do you ever get any butterflies at all? Is there any bit of nervousness once game day comes around?
No, I wouldn't say. Maybe like right before kickoff. It's just, I guess you could call it butterflies, but it's been like that since Reckley, so I don't even pay it any mind. And then it just fades away as kickoff happens. But yeah.
Is there something that caused that extra calmness? Is it just who you've always been? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's just who I've always been. Maybe I get it from my mom. A lot of people say that we kind of act alike, but yeah.
All right, so your mom is a nice, calm lady. That's good to hear. Okay, you've got an interesting set of receivers and tight ends and running backs. to throw to work with. How excited does that get you, seeing who you have out there weapons-wise?
Very excited. We have weapons at all the positions, tight ends, running back group, receiver group. I'm excited to play with these guys. First time we'll be able to spend an extended amount of time on the field other than like preseason and training camp. But we put in a lot of work this offseason and training camp as well too, and looking forward to the live bullets this Sunday.
How much fun is that? You've been in the league for at least a decade. Marcus Cannon is another guy who's got, double-digit years in the league. Ingram as well. That says a lot about being able to persevere and stick around. How important is that, not just for him, not just for you, but for all of you guys? I mean, what's that mean to this team?
It means a lot to us individually, and I think it means a lot to the team as well, too. For sure, you can share those experiences with the younger guys, lead the way for those guys as well, too. But I think from a personal standpoint, all the guys that you've named have been through things, and they've handled it the right way and had an opportunity to come out on the other side and have an opportunity to continue to keep furthering their career and playing at a high level this year.
Tell me about this Jaguars front. What stands out to you when you look at it on tape?
I'm a very fast front, physical as well. Of course, we know Allen. He's played at a high level throughout his time at Jacksonville, as well as Jack on the back end, not the back end, but backers. He's played at a high level as well, too. I've actually played with Rayshon Jenkins the last 2 years with the Chargers, very fast guy. I mean, they have a talented defense overall, and we have to execute in all phases, especially on offense, to be able to do the things that we need to do to win.
Yeah, you've talked about it. Everyone's talked about the ability to run the ball, the wanting to run the ball. How much of a key is that this weekend?
It's a big part of our game, week in and week out, but definitely with the physical group that Jacksonville has, you definitely have to show your physicality early on in the game, and using the run game is the best way to do that.
How about a noon kickoff? What are you eating before the game, and when do you eat it?
Yeah, that's a little different. Probably eat around 8. Just eat a big breakfast. Not really a big lunch guy before the game.
Yeah.
Even in the preseason with those late games, I didn't eat a whole bunch before the game. Just a big breakfast.
Mix it up.
Definitely oatmeal, but a loaded oatmeal, like blueberries, almond butter, walnuts, cinnamon, honey. It's probably some pancakes and waffles. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, hope the loaded oatmeal leads to a loaded game for the Texans, and you guys do great. Tyrod Taylor, best of luck today. Can't wait to see you in action, and can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Tyrod Taylor, along with his O-line. I know earlier we talked about Charlie Heck. He's actually on the reserve COVID list, so he's not on the inactives list because he's not on the active roster right now. Yeah. So it will be Marcus Cannon at right tackle. Just wanted to clarify that. We have time for a few more questions, Drew.
Yes.
As we go, Steve wants to know, is the roof open today?
No, Steve, it's too hot, all right?
It is.
The roof's closed. Golly. Okay, and Jamal wants to know, why are the Texans wearing white jerseys at home? It's Liberty Whiteout every year, the first game of the year. White on white, as our guy Arian Foster, the greatest running back in franchise history, used to say, the icy whites. So, Liberty Whiteout presented by
I'm Liberty off-white today, but I feel like it's close enough.
It looks great. It's a great dress.
It's a great way to kick off the season, Liberty Whiteout. If you're at the game, you're wearing white as well. If you're not, you can catch all of our coverage after the game on HoustonTexans.com. Check out the Houston Texans mobile app. We'll keep you up to date even during the game. And like Drew said, you can watch the game if you're in the local area on HoustonTexans.com. Otherwise, it's on CBS. Also, you can catch it on Sports Radio 610. If you're at the game, say hi to Drew if you're in the stadium, because he's up here.
I like saying hi to people.
He loves saying hi to people.
Sometimes when I'm driving down the road, I'll just honk and wave at strangers. It's fun. Gets my wife, drives her crazy. So, yeah,
he's very friendly because throughout the show, people are coming by and saying hi to us. It's a lot of fun. So it's been a lot of fun hosting this show, but that's going to do it for Texans Unlimited, presented by Verizon. Special thanks to everyone that worked on this program. It's pretty much our whole department. We look forward to a great 2021 season and getting it kicked off today as the Texans host the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Texans.